When my wife and I bought our place, we had no idea how important the playground behind us would be in our lives. I've spent more hours on this playground than I ever would have imagined. And when we bought this place, I wasn't even sensitive to the playground's existence. I drove by it many times and didn't even see it. And yet, I would go to that playground sometimes twice a day for hours at a time over the course of the next 5 years. My kids now are getting to the point where they need different stimulation than is found at the playground. More consistent contact with their friends, for instance. Less sort of unstructured play, more structured events like baseball and soccer and school in particular, where they're in with their friends for 6 hours a day, doing all sorts of different activities, trying out all sorts of new things, discovering interests they had no idea they even had, discovering friends that they never anticipated having. It's a time of discovery. And it's just begun for my kids. They're at the end of kindergarten. They're starting to wonder who their grade 1 teacher is going to be. You, on the other hand, are coming to the end of grade 12. And instead of wondering who your grade 1 teacher is going to be, you're wondering what your first year of university is going to be like. Some of you are wondering where you're going to go to school. Others of you are wondering how well you're going to do at school. And many of you are wondering how you're going to do anything at all. That is, if you're able to look past the upcoming exams, which start on Monday. Now, I'm walking past the house of Adeline Reed's closest friends, and past the house of the guy who renovated our house 2 years ago. And I had no idea that these people existed. Hello. Prior to the birth of my children. And they're lovely people. They've done me great favors and great work with my children. You come to realize as you go through parenting in particular the importance of the people that you're with. And you also come to realize how much of this is beyond your control. You can't really choose the people that you go through these things with to a certain extent. They're chosen for you by other people, by the decisions that other people make. You have to sort of surrender control to a certain extent, as hard as that is, because our instinct is to try to control everything. And that's difficult, because there are very few people that can control everything. For instance, the other day, while I was lying in bed, I went to stretch. And in the act of stretching, I herniated a disc in my neck. That's totally out of my control. I had no idea that I was going to be unable to finish the school year. Hello. How are you? Good. No, no. Bye-bye. So, my life took an unexpected turn. But, I don't know if there's a but let's say that there's a but. In the event that there was any good fortune in that, I have to say that I can recognize that it's been an experience which has allowed me to recognize how good the people are around me and how much support that I actually have. And sometimes it's hard to see how much support you have, but it's there. And sometimes you have to be your own best support and take care of yourself. You're about to enter a period of time in your life where you're going to have to be your own best support. There will be people around you who will support you as well. But you are going to have to look after yourself. And when I say look after yourself, I mean you're going to have to make sure that you don't make grave errors in judgment. Sorry, it's hard to do this with the sun. That's not bad. And when I say grave errors in judgment, I mean grave errors in judgment. I mean not doing what you need to do in order to have success. I mean not taking care of business. I mean making decisions which you'll regret. Gaming, staying out, not doing your work, not studying. Some of you will take care of business. I have no doubt. No doubt at all. Some of you are quite prepared for this. It's hard to tell who in my position, but some of you will make excellent decisions. Some of you will make decisions that you may not look back at and be proud of in time. And that's fine. I don't know all the circumstances of your life. I don't know the pressures that you have. I have no idea what's going on outside of the classroom. I'm not party to it, am I? I don't know what time you go to bed. I don't know how well you sleep. I don't know how well you feed yourself. I don't know how well you hydrate yourself. I don't know how rested you are. I don't know how much you've taken shortcuts through the course of the year. I have no idea. But I urge you, in the event that you've taken many shortcuts this year, that as part of your process going forward, in terms of your schooling, that you take some time to reflect upon the decisions you made, and you take ownership for the decisions you made, and that you recognize that the decisions you made were not in your best interest. That's the mature thing to do. If you're able to do that, the path forward for you will be fruitful, I would say. I'm not certain of that. I suspect that. I could be wrong. But a lot of success in education and in life is recognizing what you've done and taking responsibility for it. A lot of success in education and in life is planning in advance. So that if something happens, like you wake up one morning and you stretch and you herniate a disc, you can actually turn it over to somebody. because you're ready for it. That's important. So, I urge you in the coming days to plan for success. How are you going to study? When are you going to study? What are you going to study? Who are you going to study with? Are they reliable? Can you count on them? Are they going to be helpful? Or are they going to just pose a distraction? Are they going to mislead you and convince you that doing things in the short term is actually more beneficial than doing the responsible things? Ultimately, this is going to come and go. You're going to get through these exams one way or another, in some fashion or another. I can assure you. You may not do as well as you hoped. That's always a possibility. By no means a certainty. But there are some things that you can do to ensure that you're more likely to have success than others. Take your studies seriously. Take your care seriously. Look after yourself. Look after your friends. Do your best. Ultimately, you're only cheating yourselves. Ultimately, your decisions are owned only by you. And understand that some things are actually beyond your control. Like stretching. I believe in you guys. Have fun.